5% comes from debenture, 500 billion, which is fully subscribed to by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Equity, which is 10 billion, is a minimal part of our funding. And then zero coupon bonds. As of today, the face value of the coupon bonds that we have issued into the market is 3.52 trillion. What we did was we issued zero coupon bonds because at the onset of AMCON, we don't have the capital to pay those interests. So for the first 3 years, we issued 3-year zero coupon bonds, which will not fall due until the end of next year. The funds were used to recapitalize banks, 30% for the 5 that went into successful M&A arrangements, 17% to those banks that are currently being managed by their boards, and 52% was used to buy up NPLs. Now, as you will see from the next slide, 63% of the cost of this cleanup will be contributed by the banks. That's the sinking fund. The sinking fund is contributed by all the assets, all the banks in Nigeria as of today, which makes it a fundamental difference from what you have in all of the countries. Now the question would be asked, how are we sure this model will work? What we have done is we've gone through a funding methodology which has been tested by various analysts, various rating agencies, and they've been able to see that this funding methodology does stand the test of time. AMCON will be self-resolving within the next 13 or 14 years. We have various basic assumptions. One is that we'll recover a minimum of 70% of what we have invested to buy NPLs. We can do the ratio of this. We have spent about 44 cents per dollar on each NPL that we bought. Out of each of these NPLs, we are assuming a minimum of 70% recovery rate. Now, I must tell you that as of today, we're recovering over 100% of what we have recovered so far. From the bridge banks, those are the 3 banks that we recapitalized, we are assuming that we recover a minimum of 30% of our investment. For those 5 banks that we also invested in, we're going to recover a minimum of 25%. Now, you might ask, is this possible? We can assure you it is. Because those banks that are currently being run under their own boards, like I said, have actually turned around. They have broken even. And based on their run rate as of today, we would even be making more than this recovery rate that we have projected. Based on these various projections, including the 30 basis points from each of the banks, including a 13-year period, an estimated growth of 20% in the banking sector, AMCON will be self-resolving in a maximum of 13 years. You might wonder, why did we take 20% of growth in the banks? As of today, going by the projections in the past, Nigerian banks have grown in excess of 26% over the past 10 years. After you exonerate the last 2 years, that is between 2006 and 2008, when we talked about some spiking in the growth of banks. With these assumptions, AMCON actually comes up with a positive such that even the debenture will be paid back. The banks might even get back some of the 30 basis points that they contributed. Basically, the bonds issued by AMCON are guaranteed by the federal government of Nigeria through the Debt Management Office. However, based on these assumptions, based on the track record, based on what we're doing today, that guarantee would not be called in. As of today, the question is, what has been the effect of AMCON on the banking sector? I'll refer you to a couple of slides very briefly. I mentioned the question of liquidity. As of today, Nigerian banks are in excess of the required liquidity, but the most fundamental one is the NPL ratios. Before AMCON came into being, the NPL ratio in this market was sometimes in excess of 60–70%. Going by the accounts that have been approved by the Central Bank of Nigeria, as late as last week, the NPL ratio of Nigerian banks is below an average of 5%. Below an average of 5%. That is the most fundamental achievement of AMCON today. The banks now have the liquidity, They have met their minimum capital requirements. In fact, most of them are far in excess of it, such that they are now able to concentrate on growing the Nigerian economy, which is really the fundamental reason why AMCON was set up. Thank you for listening.